So it's day 5 and we're going to take an honest, hard look at our own business today. One of the hardest things to do is to take an honest look and say, where am I failing? What needs to change? How do people view my business? In fact, how do my customers view my business? So today's all about trying to get in the mindset of a customer. So imagine being a customer, knowing nothing at all about your product or service, going to Google and then coming across your business, but also coming across your competitor's business. So today's going to be a bit more about understanding what is it the competitors are doing better than you. What are you hanging on to, thinking's working, that's not, and you need to let go? And are you prepared to try and be the client rather than the manager of your business? That's a tough call. And I know that for a fact because years ago, when I used to be a consultant as a web designer, and I was particularly helping businesses, large corporations, look at their websites and show them that some of the things they were doing weren't actually ideal for the client. It's only when it's pointed out to them from someone outside their business could they see the reality of what was being said. And for some of them, they squirmed. Why? Because no one has said this to them. In fact, often staff members know it, but are too scared to say. So I don't know how big your business is, but if you're a one-man team, a 5-man team, or whether you're 20 or 30 staff, sometimes you just need to think of it from the customer's point of view. And that's what I'm going to try and help you through with today. So day 5 is a day of reality checking, really. So here's a few questions to be honest with today. When was the last time that you asked your staff to feed back to you what was wrong with your business is all about and how it's portrayed? In fact, I've got a free tool for you today, and it's a feedback form where you could, say you've got 30 staff, you could send out this form, they can fill it out the survey, get honest feedback, or you might even just print off a PDF, send it around the office, get some honest feedback about what do you think about our business. When you go to Google and search for our business, what else do you see? What are other businesses doing well? Now, in effect, you're doing a competitive analysis on your competition, but you're doing it from the perspective of a customer. And what that will do is that might reveal that you've done the pricing wrong, or the pricing structure needs to change. It might reveal your services you're offering aren't actually what customers are looking for. If you start to read the comments of your customers on the reviews of your competitors, you might find exactly what they're looking for. You might find there's a niche in the market there that someone's not offering, and if you offer that, that might be what you've been missing all along. So this is a really simple process, really, and the only thing you need to do is just be honest about the process. So that's the challenge for you today. Could you do that? Could you check it? Could you make some changes? Now, of course, if you make any changes or if you find anything interesting, then put them below in the comments. And of course, if you get all these things right from the top, then it's going to take care of itself, the business. In fact, that was very much what Steve Jobs was saying when he said, manage the top line, your strategy, your people, and your products, and the bottom line will follow. So what does your business look like when you actually do a search on Google for it? Be critical. Does it look like it's got decent branding? When you go onto maps or you go onto SERPs, is it really clear what you're offering? Do the first few words that come up explain what it is that your products or your services are about? Are you advertising in the right places, or could you be spending it in a different area? Where's your competitors advertising? How are they getting found? What about your knowledge panel? Does it really look like it's complete or half-baked? And what about the cover picture maybe you're using? What does that look like? What about your reviews? Which reviews are showing? Could you improve on getting greater reviews, better reviews? Customers updating photographs. We saw that on day 4. What about your hours? We saw one was at day 2. Have you got your hours correct? Are they reflecting correctly? Is there anything you're doing poor or incorrect when you look at your business? Be honest. That's what the customers are reading. That's what they're seeing. They're making decisions on whether to phone you or not based on these things. And then, of course, if that's the case, go into your Google My Business listing and edit the basic information so it reflects correctly. And what about your products? What about your services? Would a client go elsewhere because they just don't feel they can trust your business because it's not considered complete? And how do your values and your strengths, how do they show through? How do they compare against your competitors? And what's missing from your product offering that others are offering? These are all questions that are difficult sometimes to take. But if you're honest with yourself, if you spend 10 minutes like we've done today, looking outside your business as if you're a customer looking in, you're going to actually make your business far more appealing. And if you can't do it, there'll be members of your staff that can, or maybe a member of the family that can. In fact, the best person is a person who knows nothing about your business, and get them to give you feedback, because they'll be using the search terms and the keywords that you don't use. You use keywords that you're familiar with, but that's because you understand, you're already knowledgeable about your business, but they're not. So they're going to use the words that they use. So when you ask them to search, don't tell them the words to use to find your business. Just tell them what type of business you do and see what words they use. They might be the very key words that you need to use on your next update of your Google My Business or your next blog. But there are some things that most business owners continuously try to do, and they do it wrong. And in fact, it's one of the most important things that they should be succeeding in, but they just don't understand it. Well, tomorrow I'm going to tell you what that is, and also what it is they don't understand, and I'm going to reveal to you what you need to understand if you want to succeed. So I'll see you tomorrow.